Hello, everybody. My name is Dave Wellman. I'm Communications Manager with the Northwest Indiana Regional Development Authority. I'm here today with a couple of our partners, Mark Blyer from KPMG and Aaron Kowalski from MKSK, to talk very briefly about the transit development districts here in Northwest Indiana. First, let me give you a quick overview of the Regional Development Authority for those who are unfamiliar with us. We were created in 2006 to catalyze infrastructure development in Northwest Indiana, major projects that maybe an individual municipality could not do on their own. We had a number of projects in terms of rail and bus transportation, the Marquette Plan, restoring beaches along the southern shore of Lake Michigan, expanding the main runway at the Gary Chicago International Airport. And that took most of our time from 2006 to 2015. We invested about $250 million over that time span in these various projects. And since then, we have been focused on two major rail projects in the region. These are the Double Track Project and the Westlake Corridor, both of the South Shore Line commuter rail line. These will essentially bring the rail system up to 21st century standards, put service on a par with that found in the metro system in Chicago, and really make Northwest Indiana competitive as a place for people who work in Chicago to look at as somewhere where they might want to live, work, and play. As part of our responsibilities, not only are we funding a large piece of the project, but we have been tasked with the creation of what are called transit development districts. These TDDs are essentially a form of tax increment financing zone. They occur in about a half-mile radius around each station, roughly 340 acres, and they are the centers for investment and development as we bring this new and improved commuter rail system online. We're looking at attracting upwards of $2 billion over the next 20 years in private investment. And we're here to help as much as we can in terms of things like technical assistance, local partnerships, and innovative financing options to help drive this investment in Northwest Indiana. Now, again, we're looking to kickstart this cycle of development. And by leveraging a TDD and working with us and working with local communities, we'll be able to drive that development and help you get the most out of your investment in our region as well. As you can see, there are a number of other tools as well. The Indiana Housing Community Development Authority, the Indiana Economic Development Corporation. Basically, we're one of a number of tools available for you as the developer and as the investor to take advantage of, and to move forward with projects that really fit what the communities here in the region want. Just a quick review here. This is the basics of a TDD. As you can see, they were legislatively established back in 2017 to incentivize, guide, and promote economic development around the stations along the South Shore Commuter Line and the future Westlake Corridor line. They will capture incremental property and income taxes to support local development. While they are initially limited to that half-mile area, they can be expanded once in their lifetime to a full mile around the station, so that it is an option down the road if development warrants it. And as you can see here, we have 12 station areas. We are working on 12 different TDDs, one around each station. There'll be a little bit more about that later in the presentation. Right now, I'd like to turn it over to one of our partners, Mark Blyer from KPMG. Mark, can you tell us a little bit more about how a TDD works?
Sure. Thanks, Dave. As Dave mentioned, the idea here is to kickstart opportunities and projects in these TDD areas. So the way that the TDD works is very similar to a tax increment finance district, and it actually can be overlaid with a TIF in some cases, but more about that in a second. TDD proceeds will be available from both property tax revenue as well as income tax revenue. And those proceeds can be used within the same TDD district. The districts are being designed right now. Our colleague Aaron will speak to that in just a second. But within that boundary, tax increment, from both income and property over a certain threshold will be devoted to the TDDs, and those can then be used to support further infrastructure and real estate development within the area. Now, a TDD, as I mentioned, could be overlapping with a local TIF. In those cases, we would expect to see a memorandum of agreement between the municipality and RDA to ensure that there is no impact to the TIF proceeds. The TIF will still be in use and available by the local municipality to support further development. It is important to note that TDD really is another tool in the local toolbox to bring more development to these areas to accompany the incredible investment in the rail infrastructure that is coming here to Northwest Indiana. TDD funding can be used in multiple forms and really being designed to be flexible. So TDDs could take the form of a direct loan, a grant, a line of credit, credit enhancement. It really will depend on the project and the best way to support development and in each project going forward. The terms also will be similarly flexible, but really are designed to benefit the overall project and the overall area. So it's important to also note that the TDD could also be beneficial in that you could obtain favorable bond financing in addition to the TDD financing as well. It's also possible that when applying for additional grants, by having these additional sources such as TDD financing, it might support a grant application and provide for some additional preferential scoring. So there are additional benefits beyond just the funding itself coming out of the TDD. And I'll turn it over to Aaron Kowalski from MKSK.
Great, thanks, Mark. Thanks, Dave. So, we've learned about what a TDD boundary is, how big it is, how it works, what are the economic development benefits to it, what are the benefits to the development community. You may be asking now, how did we develop these boundaries? So we really looked at 3 different factors as we worked with the local communities hand in hand to develop these districts. We put forth our professional expertise from an economic development and land planning perspective to devise these districts. And then really we cross-checked that with community needs, goals, and previous planning that they've done. So at a quantitative level, we really have worked to understand exactly what the components of these station areas are, both from a walkable perspective, but then also from a development perspective, what assets might exist, what barriers might exist, and what restrictions might exist. And how do we start to think about developing this? So what is the data telling us? And then from there, we spent a lot of time working with the local municipalities and looking at redevelopment potential, community desires, what they've advocated for in previous plans, and what the vision is for this place, and how to effectuate TOD in a way that improves communities and does so in a way that's in line with their goals, and really gets them to a place where they're represented in a positive light in these TOD areas. And then from an area specific perspective, we are going through the process of doing further planning with each of these communities. So helping the communities get ready for the TOD development that we anticipate to occur, looking at land use, looking at zoning, understanding infrastructure needs, and doing site testing. So the site component is another big part of this process, even past the definition of these boundaries. So where we are in the process, we have defined boundaries for 7 of the 12 communities. You can see those on the bottom left-hand side of the screen, 3 for the Westlake Corridor and 4 for the South Shore Double Track Corridor. And then we're working with the other communities that have yet to have completed boundaries to complete TDDs for them as well. So we're working through that process. Please stay tuned to our website, nwitdd.com, for more information, or if you want to get an eye on exactly where these boundaries are, we have all of that current information for the 7 completed boundaries uploaded as well. And so what are the goals? You know, this webinar is really kind of getting us ready for future industry days, which are essentially our opportunity to introduce these boundaries and projects to the development community, both in Northwest Indiana and beyond. And so we really want to showcase the opportunity. We've done one of these industry day meetings already with Portage and Munster, and there's a lot of opportunities in those communities. We're going to be working with the additional communities that have completed boundaries within Northwest Indiana to do individual and group type industry day webinars here in the near future. So we want to showcase the opportunity. We want to link you, the development community, with local communities and partners to help create conversations and get you all interested in upcoming RFPs and projects and sites that may be coming to market that you would be interested in looking at, and understanding the goals of communities. And one big part of our industry day is letting you hear from the communities themselves, hearing about the work they've done already, as well as some of the things they're excited about as the train system is improved in Northwest Indiana and the development that they'd like to see. So with that, you know, we've completed, as I mentioned, one industry day, and we have a focus of upcoming industry days here. And if you'd like to learn more, please contact Dave Wellman. His contact information is here, or visit our website, www.nwitdd.com.